Various Trump organizations have a history of not paying in full for the services. The story was uncovered after reviewing nearly 4,000 lawsuits from the past 3 decades. Comments Donald Trump made earlier defended the tactics, saying, quote, they do a job that's not good, or a job that they didn't finish, or a job that was way late. I'll deduct from their contract. Absolutely. Joined now by USA Today investigative journalist Steve Riley, who reported this story. So, Steve, thanks for joining us. Take us through the basics here.
One example that we looked at is a cabinetry business that was based out of the Philadelphia area. The Trump company failed to pay the last payment. It was about $83,000 on that contract, and that was damaging to, obviously, that small business of about 20 employees at the time, and eventually they went bankrupt.
Was there an explanation from Trump? I'm assuming the company spent a lot of time trying to collect it. What were they hearing back?
Well, it was interesting. The small business person said Mr. Trump told them he's not going to make the final payment. However, they're welcome to come and do work in the future for future Trump projects. And so that's inconsistent with Mr. Trump's statement when I spoke with him for this article, that he would only make payments, only skip on payments if the work was late or deficient in some way.
He put so many good contractors out of business.
I don't care if he's Donald Trump or Donald Duck. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and I have to stand up for myself.
Donald Trump had basically decided what subcontractors would work in Atlantic City and which ones would not. If you went against him, he simply put a list out and said these are bad guys and everybody else is a good guy.
And you guys were on that list?
We were on the list.
And did you ever get work in Atlantic City again?
Never.
Stephen Jenkins and his sister Beth Rosser are second-generation owners of Triad Building Specialties, a business built by their father Forrest. When Trump's Taj Mahal began construction, Triad won the bid to install every toilet partition inside the casino's bathrooms. It was the largest contract their family business had ever landed.
We bill $150,000 a month. That's a really good month for us. And this was almost $300,000 in one contract. Everyone was, it was a big job. It was great.
But as Triad's workers wrapped up the project, talk started swirling that contractors weren't getting paid. When the Taj Mahal filed for bankruptcy in 1991, Triad was left with this $231,000 claim in court. They say they ended up with a payout of just $70,000.
It's hard for me to talk about it, but he wanted all 4 of us to work.
Jenkins gets emotional when he remembers how their father struggled to keep the business standing.
He's watching something that he built his whole life start to slip through his fingers.
He is vindictive, nasty, and think that his words or actions have no repercussions.
Nat Hyman spent years in litigation with Trump. Letters show Trump tried to cut short Hyman's kiosk lease inside Trump Tower in Manhattan. Hyman sued Trump amid various lease disputes, and he says the real estate mogul's team buried him in legal paperwork and fees for years.
He was hoping that simply by sending me a letter and the force of being Donald Trump, that a 20-something-year-old would roll over and say, go ahead, I'm not going to fight you, you're Donald Trump. He was wrong. I think I spent over $1 million in litigation with him. The bottom line was I would have been much happier, Jess, if he would have left me alone and simply left me to do my business. To him, it was sport. And to me, it was my life.
Every single one of them lived up to the word until Donald Trump came to Atlantic City. He was the first one that told a bunch of small contractors, I don't think I'm going to pay you any more money. And if you don't like it, you can sue me.
Friel says his father did try to recoup the $84,000 Trump owed the company for building bases to these Trump Plaza slot machines and the hotel's registration desks and bars.
Donald Trump had blackballed him, even though we had an excellent name in Atlantic City. We'd already worked in 4 of the first 4 casinos.
We looked at about 3,500 lawsuits in total involving Mr. Trump. The contractors and employees did the work they were contracted to do and did it according to whatever agreement was in place, and were not paid fairly for the work.